I am back with another video, and of course this is the TYSK report. I got the articles lined up on the docket, but before we begin, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe, and let's go ahead and dive into our first article talking about Cyngn. Cyngn raises $33 million to grow autonomous forklift deployments. Cyngn recently said that it secured $33 million in funding late last month. The company plans to use the funding to scale the production and deployment of its autonomous tuggers and forklifts. With increasing demand for automation solutions, especially in the automotive, heavy machinery, and logistics industries, this funding allows us to build on recent momentum, including our upcoming autonomous forklift launch and other strategic advancements, CEO Cyngn said. 41% of warehouse managers have reported an inability to attract and retain workers, according to Cyngn. In addition, labor shortages are affecting 76% of today's supply chain operations, reported a Descartes study. In response, the smart manufacturing market could grow from $304 billion in 2024 to $1.3 trillion by 2034, estimated Precedence Research. This growth is driven by increasing demand for efficiency and workforce augmentation. Companies across logistics, warehousing, and manufacturing are accelerating automation initiatives to address rising operational costs. Cyngn said its systems are powered by artificial intelligence and advanced autonomy. The company claimed that its automated forklifts and drive mode tuggers provide a path for businesses to integrate self-driving vehicles into their workflows and address these ongoing challenges. With its latest funding, Cyngn said it remains focused on scaling robotics deployments, accelerating product innovation, and expanding its market reach. The company has begun accepting orders for its drive mod forklift. So I always like to bring you this news so that way you can know these different companies that are continuing to implement this autonomous technology and showing those different use cases. And this is not the only company doing this, because you can see in this video right here, this company Fox Robotics is also implementing this technology and having their forklifts do similar things. Now, an interesting thing to point out from that article was the labor shortages and how they can't find the people to work based on the demand that they have. So I wonder if that's related to skill or willingness, or if this is just statements being made to justify the technology and them building it out even more and expanding it into different warehouses that need this forklift technology. Plus, if those statements are accurate related to the labor shortages, then there's no way for people to say that companies like these are taking jobs if the jobs were never filled in the first place. Now let's go ahead and move on to some more technology related to robotics. RIC Technology debuts robotic 3D printer that can print up to 3 stories high. RIC Technology last week debuted its most advanced and largest construction robotic 3D printer named RIC Primus. With the capability to print 3-story structures up to 32 feet tall, RIC Primus expands upon the innovations of its predecessor, RIC M1 Pro. In 2024, the company's previous model, operated by Alquest 3D, printed an 80,000 square foot, 20-foot tall Walmart extension. Walmart has planned another 200 products utilizing RIC's robots, which are expected to begin construction in February 2025. RIC Technology said it plans to meet the growing demand for faster, cost-effective, and sustainable construction systems. RIC Primus boasts a printing height of 32 feet tall and an 85.4 feet printing length and a 36.1 feet printing width. This is nearly double the dimensions of its predecessor, RIC M1 Pro. This size enables the robot to construct 3-story residential buildings and wall systems, pushing the boundaries of 3D construction for both residential and commercial projects. RIC Primus includes an integrated self-loading 3/8 aggregate mixer pump that is adaptable to most industry standard mixer pumps. This allows it to print with both concrete and mortar for most material providers. The company said this flexibility in materials enables large-scale, durable structural builds while retaining the precision needed for smaller, detailed projects. So this is more technology being implemented now into the construction industry. There are companies out there that are continuing to try to build buildings with this 3D printing technology. Some have failed, some are doing well, and it sounds like this company is one of those companies that are doing well and looking to grow even further. But also with this, I do wonder if it's going to be utilized to build out more and more homes for the homeless population out there, or people who don't have homes, or will 3D printed homes be the new norm related to new homeowners who might not be able to afford the rising prices of all these other homes that are out there on the market. So when it does come to this technology, I wonder if you would love to have a 3D printed home, and if you would, Comment down below in the comment section your thoughts on this and why you would want a 3D printed home, because I would love to get your perspective on it. Let's move on to the next article. Raise Robotics deploys Cobots with Harmer for high-rise fastener installation. Up to 1,000 feet into the air, construction workers need extensive safety rigging to install glass panel brackets. This essential task not only puts employees in danger, but it's also repetitive and boring. To keep workers safe and allow them to do more high-value work, Harman incorporated a US-based glazing company, automating the process with technology from Raise Robotics and Universal Robotics. Harman is an early adopter of this technology and so far said it has seen a fast return on investment. In addition, this company said the robotic system has improved worker safety as well as consistency and precision in installation. The three partners said the robots provide a 3-time multiplier on manual labor and provide a payoff within one 13-floor project. Raise Robotics uses two UR20 collaborative robot arms from Universal Robots for the innovative construction platform. The San Francisco-based company has mounted these two cobots on each mobile robot base. The small footprint and control boxes of the UR20 make them easy to integrate into a mobile application. In addition, the UR20's IP65 rating provides confidence for Raise customers in using the robots even in inclement environments including dust and rain, as well as extreme temperatures. The company has run the robots successfully from 20 degrees Fahrenheit below zero up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Harman reported a number of improvements since deploying the Raise Robotics system. For example, the manual installation process for these brackets typically requires 2 to 4 workers. In comparison, the robot requires only one person to manage it per installation location. So this is another article related to Cobots, collaboration robots, and I've talked about these Cobots in the past and how they are going to be implemented more and more, and if these robots don't replace the work of people, people are going to be working alongside them. So I think that's a lot better than having that job replaced, and possibly lots of companies may look into this if it is feasible for them to do so. But all in all, being able to replace 4 people with just one operating the machine is just another one of those areas that has been disrupted and will be disrupted even more, to the point where that machine could be just placed there and be operating on its own. In the next article we have, flying vehicle company signs deal with Chile helicopter operator. The Canadian eVTOL vehicle maker Horizon Aircraft has signed an agreement to lease 5 of its flying vehicles to Discovery Air Chile. Helicopter operator Discovery Air Chile expects the Cavret X7 electrical aerial vehicle EAV to reduce transfer times for passengers, patients, and critical goods while reducing costs. According to CEO Brandon Johnson, our Cavret X7 hybrid eVTOL offers a compelling economic and operational alternative to helicopters. Our aircraft can fly almost twice as fast as a traditional helicopter with an estimated 30% lower per hour operating costs. This results in over 75% savings as compared to a traditional helicopter on a per mile basis. Horizon has completed hundreds of flight tests with its large-scale prototype that takes off vertically and then flies like a normal plane. The Cavret X7 is designed for speeds nearly twice that of a helicopter, with a top speed of 250 miles per hour and a range of 500 miles. The Cavret X7 would be able to fly faster and carry more cargo than other electric aerial vehicles under development, according to the company. New Horizon has signed a letter of intent with Jet Set Go, an Indian regional air transport company, to sell up to 100 flying vehicles valued at up to $500 million. Alright, so from that article, a key word to point out was the word hybrid. Hybrid eVTOL. This is definitely going a different route from the Archers and the Jobies, and I do wonder if the hybrid model of it is going to be more efficient and provide a better experience than the all-electric aircrafts that these companies are building out. Also, this goes to show that more and more companies from these different countries are continuing to grow and expand on what they do, so that way they can get these aircrafts out to the market in the future. And as I stated before, we could get to a point where we are going to see lots of these flying above our heads back and forth, and it will become as normal as the planes that go from one part of the sky to another. Now let's move into the next article, dealing with NVIDIA and MedAI. NVIDIA backs MedAI, a Taiwanese startup that creates AI-powered digital twins. NVIDIA has been doubling down on the opportunity to build robotics and other industrial AI applications with the launch of its Omniverse platform, and most recently Mega, an Omniverse blueprint framework to create digital twins twins to operate these applications. It's also investing in digital twin startups to get the effort off the ground. Taiwan's MetAI has developed a model that can quickly generate sim-ready, simulation-ready digital twins using AI and 3D technology by converting CAD files into functional 3D environments within minutes. The next wave of AI, known as generative physical AI, relies on physically accurate simulated environments to train and validate robots used in autonomous systems to build operational AI before deployment. MetAI contends that the digital twins that it helps create will be central to that effort. MetAI focuses on AI-powered digital twins tailored to advanced semiconductor fabs, smart warehouses, and automation. It also generates synthetic data within AI-enabled digital twin environments. So that's just some of the latest news when it comes to NVIDIA, to bring you an update on what's going on with them outside of all the other exciting news that they talked about at CES 2025. But with these digital twins, they're going to be utilized more and more, and I'm sure as time moves along, the technology is going to get better, and I'll make sure to keep you updated if any other information arises with this. Let's move on to that next article. Trump's .pic wants EV owners to pay to use roads. Sean Duffy, President-elect Donald Trump's nominee to head the U.S. Department of Transportation, thinks owners of electric vehicles should pay to use roads. How to do that, I think, is a little more challenging, Duffy said at his confirmation hearing Wednesday before the Senate Commerce Committee. The former Republican lawmaker is correct that it would be a challenge to enact such a change that would affect owners of Tesla, Rivian, Lucid, and other EVs. Federally funded road repairs are mainly paid for by taxes collected on diesel and gasoline. EVs don't consume gas, which means they don't contribute to the fuel tax revenues. Some argue this creates a funding gap. It's not within the DOT's power to make this change on its own. The agency would need to work with Congress to pass new legislation authorizing taxes or fees. It might, for example, amend the Highway Revenue Act, which was passed in 1956 and establishes a federal fuel tax. Today it's 18.3 cents per gallon. Lawmakers would also need to come up with a new implementation framework, one that could potentially measure and report EV mileage or electricity usage. In many states, EV owners already pay to use roads in order to compensate for the fact that they don't contribute to fuel tax revenues. Some, like Georgia and Illinois, charge a flat fee. Others, like Utah, charge based on weight or mileage, which is tracked by the state. So a key thing to point out from that article was how they can't make any money on the EVs. So after hearing that statement, I think that plays a big factor into a lot of the talk that Trump had, where he's going to stifle EV adoption and do all these different things that's going to hinder EV adoption. I think it's because they can't find a way to make money on it yet, but at some point I think they will. I think that legislation will get passed where they're going to have to pay some type of fee, like in the states of Utah and Illinois, in which after that is passed, I believe there's going to be some type of push related to EV adoption here in the US. And since we're speaking about presidents, let's go ahead and talk about Joe Biden. Joe Biden signs executive order to speed AI data center construction. Recently, President Biden issued an executive order aimed at speeding the development of AI data centers in the US. It directs the Department of Defense and Department of Energy to lease federal sites to private companies building gigawatt-scale AI data centers and clean power facilities. It also tells federal agencies to prioritize and speed up permitting of AI infrastructure. The measure could create categorical exclusions to speed environmental review under the National Environmental Protection Act. Developers building new AI data centers on federal land will be required to pay all costs of building and operating AI infrastructure so that this development does not raise electricity prices for consumers. That includes constructing the data center itself, as well as power facilities and transmission lines. Companies will be responsible for sourcing electricity that data centers use from new sources of clean electricity. They'll also have to access the security implications of AI models developed at federal sites and purchase an appropriate share of American-made semiconductors. So it looks like before Joe Biden heads out of office that he wants to make these moves, and this does make sense because in this article right here, it did talk about how Trump was also looking to expand out data centers. So even though sometimes on the surface level, I'm sure they disagree, when it comes to this subject, they are on one accord, and this is not just a presidency thing, but an actual country thing where they want to make sure that the US has the AI data centers needed to fuel this AI innovation that is going to occur, or they see coming coming in the future. So that's just some of the latest news when it comes to the world of technology. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and to continue to stay informed, check out these 2 videos right here. Comment down below in the comment sections of those videos and stay tuned for more.